The home inspection covers everything. And the facts are, it doesn't. My name is Nita. This is my channel. And tonight, I'm going to show you exactly what your home inspection report may have missed. Something like radon, mold, lead, pests, sewer scope. These are all inspections that could save you as a buyer thousands of dollars and make an inspector thousands more. So let's talk about why these inspections even exist. So we have a general residential home inspection, which is typically what most people get. This is again a visual inspection of the readily available systems and components of your house. However, it's limited because you cannot see what's behind the walls of the home. You cannot see what's underground. You cannot see what's in the air. You can't see what's hiding inside old paint. That's where ancillary services come in. So, quick story, last year around the same time, I was inspecting a property. It was a rehab, one that looked perfect. It looked, it was updated nice, had all the nice fixtures, appliances, etc., etc. Everything was new, except for the fact that what we came to realize is that a sewer line had collapsed underground. The buyer had elected not to have a sewer scope, which would have cost them a few $100, 300 bucks. And so they ended up paying $8,000 later to address the issue. So that's why this matters. That's why ancillary inspections matter again for the buyers as well as for us as home inspectors. Okay. So let's start with the one that is like most invisible. You can't see, smell, or taste it. This is radon. Okay. And so radon is a radioactive gas that comes from rocks, breaking down uranium, breaking down in soil and also in rocks. And it gets into your house through cracks, small cracks in the foundation, through your floor drains, and even sometimes through sump pumps. And so, radon is most common. It's common in my area, Cleveland, in the Midwest, and up in the mountain areas, the Appalachians, the Rocky Mountains, where there's a lot of granite, rock, and different things like that. You never know really where it could show up. So it's not. It's a good idea to have a radon test just to make sure, because what a lot of people may not know is that radon is cancer causing. It is actually the second leading cause of lung cancer in the United States. Something like 20,000 people die every year as it relates or as directly related to radon. And so what happens is the inspector will typically use what's called a continuous electric monitor, meaning they bring a monitor, a piece of equipment into the home, and the test has to run for 48 hours. You have to keep the windows and doors closed. You put the device in the lowest level of the house, not the crawl space, but you put the device in the lowest level of the house and you let it work or monitor for 48 hours. And then when you pick it up, the monitor gives you basically a average reading. That's an example of active testing. Now, in the process of buying a house, this can get a little tricky because if the house is occupied, leaving the equipment there is probably not going to work. And also for the inspector, it makes it a more time consuming situation because you have to drop the equipment off, set it up, leave it, and then actually come back and get it. But when you pick up those devices, it gives you basically um sort of basically like instant results about the levels of radon or potential radon in the area. The EPA that says a healthy level is 4 picos or less. It's measured in 4 pico somethings per liter. And so if you have below that, then mitigation isn't required. A lot of times homeowners will still choose it because you want to have as much radioactive I mean, as little radioactive gas in your house as you possibly can. Sometimes people even install a mitigation system, basically a PVC pipe and a fan that will vent it out. And so for a buyer to add this testing on to their general residential inspection, typically going to be anywhere from $100 to $200, maybe a little bit more, depending upon where your area is. For the inspector, the cost for these radon testers can be pretty expensive. They start at about $1,200 and go all the way up to like $2,000. Now they last for several years, but it's still a significant investment up front. There are some companies who will let you lease or rent radon testers, so that's something that you could look into. Let me know in the chat what state you are checking in from. We're talking about radon and testing for radon for buyers as well as home inspectors. And radon, again, is common in certain areas. So radon is the invisible gas that you breathe. Next up, we got mold, the invisible spores that pass the test. Peace, Guardy. I can help you pass your test. The first step is for you to get the study guide. Do you have the study guide? That is the first step in me helping you pass your test. Um, yeah, so Mo, radon, uh, radon hides in the air, right? But mold basically hides in your walls. The spores of mold will, be in your walls. You can have, it's everywhere. Mold is everywhere. The problem with it is concentration. So mold spores grow when moisture and organic material like drywall, wood, paper backing, that type of stuff, that's considered organic material. So anytime those materials get exposed to moisture, and again, you got to think it doesn't have to be rushing water. It could be steam, condensation. You will have mold growth, and mold can cause headaches, sinus issues, problems with asthma. For people who have, whose immune system are compromised, some species of mold are toxic. A common misconception is that there is black mold. There's no such thing as black mold. There are different species of mold, and they all sort of look the same. So there is some species of mold that are more toxic than others, but there's no such thing as black mold. Typically gonna find mold in your basements, in your attics, in your bathrooms, around windows, anywhere where there has been or could be water intrusion and poor ventilation. That's why ventilation of a home is so important. People, they don't understand why. They think it's all about cooling it down. It's not about just cooling the house down. It's about keeping it ventilated so that no so that moisture doesn't have a chance to grow and develop. Guardy, I'm right here. What do you need to contact me after the live for? What's up? I'm right here. So to test for mold, there are two different types of tests. You can have a surface test where you are literally, you lift a swab of where you see what looks like or what appears to be mold growth. You can lift a swab of it, or you can do air sampling. Um, I feel like at this point, most inspectors probably do the surface sampling because it just makes more sense. An area where you suspect that there is mold, you take a little sample, you send it off to the lab, they analyze that sample and then tell you, yes, these are confirmed, it's confirmed mold. They tell you what species it is and the concentration of it, which is really the most important part. Now, to have a mode for a buyer, if you wanted to add this test, which I recommend all buyers, if you're buying a home, get the mode sample test. Again, you just want to know. You may be able to do some small remediation, but get the mode sample testing. Again, it may add $100 or so on to your actual inspection if you are having it done with the inspection. And for the inspector, The cost, depending upon what lab you use, you have to obviously pay for your supplies, and then you have to pay to mail it to the lab, something like $12 or something like that. So it is cost efficient, and it is well worth it. So highly recommend. Again, if mold is what you breathe, then radon is in the air, and then the next one is lead is what you touch. And lead is in plenty of older homes. So let me take a minute right here, Gardy. I'm gonna help you out. So I am going to put the link for the study guide. The study guide is available for a $50 discount to pre-order right now. It will drop on November 3rd. I recommend that you get your copy of the study guide, pre-order it on November 3rd, the whole month of November. I'm going to be helping people pass both tests, NHIE and ICC, but only those of you who have the study guide, so that I know that you have some sort of foundation. We are going to be working next month in November on passing the tests, NHIE as well as ICC, before the end of the year. I've got several people who, yeah, everybody's looking to pass the test before the end of the year. So that's what we're going to be working on in the month of November. So, Gardy, get your copy. I'll be sending you some emails of some tips and some different things that you can start doing. And then come the beginning of November, these lives, like what I'm doing right now, will be heavily dedicated to test prep. We'll basically, in the study guide, there are um there are 10 plus chapters, and each chapter covers one of the 10 major systems of a home. And so there is all of the information that you need to know. It corresponds with the chapters of the textbook, and most importantly, it's interactive, meaning there are questions in there. So they're fill in the blank. There are questions to help you actually retain the information. And everyone who pre-orders, I put together a sample quiz. So there are 50 actual quiz questions that you can get a chance to go through. That was one of the things that really like caught me off guard when I went to go take the test, is I had never been exposed to the questions before. So seeing sample exam questions is going to be very beneficial for you. So that is only available to those people who pre-order. You could pre-order now. It's $100. Okay. Spent $100 on Amazon this week. So pre-order. I'll start to send you over the emails of everything you need to do to get prepared. And then in November, we're going to be off to the races. We are going to be focused on getting past the test. How does that sound, Gardy? If there are any other questions that I can answer for you, go ahead. Got it. Okay, good, Gardy. There's anything else so you're going to be a realtor and an inspector, Gardy? You're going to be getting all the money. If there are any other questions about the study guide, let me know. It's really good. Like, I know it's mine and I may be a little biased, but it's really good. It does a really good job. I've been working on it several different iterations, and this is the best one yet. It does a really good job of breaking down each of the major systems, and it also does, again, a really good job of being interactive. That's one of the things. You've got to interact with the material. Reading is not studying. It's not just enough to read. You have to actually study and interact in different ways with the material. And that is one thing that I don't see people doing. I asked them, what have they done to study? And they said, well, I read the books. And I'm like, well, what else? You need flashcards. You need to take quizzes. You need to do worksheets. These are all points of interaction with the information, which is extremely important when you are trying to retain it. Gardy, let me know what state you're in. If you are trying to take the NHIE, which is the National Home Inspector exam, there are 200 multiple choice questions. That test is no joke. It's a bad mother, you know what. Okay, you get 4 hours and there are 200 questions. So this is not one of those exams that you can wing it. If you have not actually studied and, again, retained the information, you will struggle big time with the test. Okay. So Let's get back to lead. I'm talking about ancillary services tonight. That's all y'all ever want to talk about is the test. I know. It's the bane of everybody's existence. Trust me, I get tons of emails and messages about getting past the test. Florida. Okay. Yeah, Florida NHIE is one of the tests that you could take in Florida. What school did you go to? That's the other part about getting past the test is it's going to a good school. So many of these schools don't even talk about the exam. They don't tell you to get the books. They don't y'all don't practice it. I'll be thinking like, how the hell are you supposed to pass the test? And you went to school for 4 weeks, one time a week or something like that, and you talk nothing about the exam. And then inevitably the majority of my students at Inspector Flow, the top home inspector school in the country, have gone to other places first. They've gone to other schools and they've not learned enough. They can't get past the tests. And so, yeah, you got to make sure you get what you pay for, folks. You got to make sure that you're going to a quality school that has, before you even enroll, one of the questions should be, what is your plan to help me get past the exam? They should be able to clearly outline, okay, well, we have a study guide, we have this, we have training, we have test prep, we have this, we have that. You will find that most of them don't have that, which is really a shame, but such is life. Texas, what's up, Sean? You missed it the other night. I'm gonna answer your question again here in a second. You missed me the other night. Okay, Gardy. Okay, cool. So hopefully you learned a lot while you were there, Gardy. And hopefully, I know my study guide is definitely going to be beneficial. I don't know what your foundation is like, but I know for a fact that that will definitely help you. I put it together with people like you in mind, people who I haven't had an opportunity to instruct over a 12-week session, but still need thorough, comprehensive education and test prep. So that's what I put it together for. Can we talk about lead, or we want to keep going with the test, or what we want to do is your world. Watched your videos the first time. What's up, Walsh family? Welcome to the party. I'm Nita. That's Sean. That's Gardy. We are here. We're talking about the home inspector piece. People who are already home inspectors. We got some people in the chat who are looking to be home inspectors. And I am, if I do say so myself, one of the top sources for that type of information, education, and training. So that's what we got going on now. But thanks for tuning in. Everybody, let's take this moment and all collectively hit the like button. Like, hit it right now. Don't just listen to me talk. Actually, bam, hit the button. Bam, hit the button. Okay, everybody hit it. And is everybody subscribed? Those are the only two things that I ask of you. I have no other request of you but to bam, hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. I typically come on and I'm a realtor as well, but trying to get my license for home. Okay, cool. Yeah, I used to be a realtor too. And it's so much better when, like, okay, I just got text from a realtor that I work with. He asked me, he says, hey, we need, he's saying he's talking about the buyer. So I'm not even talking to the buyer. I'm only talking to the realtor. He says, hey, Nita, we need an inspection at blank, blank, blank this street. Would you be able to do it this week? Fortunately, this is a busy week for me. So I tell him I'm not able to do it until Thursday. He asks what time. I say 10 a.m. He says, I will get it scheduled. Now, this home inspection, I'm just assuming it's probably going to be about a $500 inspection. I'm going to be paid before I show up. The inspection is going to take me about 2.5 hours, maybe another hour with finishing up my report. 3 hours. I'm done. I submit it. You know, Walsh. I submit it. You all get it on your end and you do what you need to do. No matter if they buy the house or not, I'm going to be paid. And I have literally no dog in the fight. So I don't blame you for coming over here on this side of things and checking it out. Cause I mean, just think about it. You on the realtor side of things, you guys are important. Don't get me wrong, but there's a lot to that goes into like making money consistently as a realtor. You know, so many, and it's just you got to take people out, see all these houses, pray to God they actually close, before you can get paid. Whereas if I do, two inspections a week, that's $1,000 a week. It's very easy to generate, that revenue on the inspector side of things. So welcome to the dark side, Walsh family. Welcome. What else? Let me know if you got questions. Go ahead and drop them in. Just here's that text so y'all know that there's no cap in my rap. Boom. I will probably be live from that inspection on Thursday showing you a couple of things. So you thinking along. Gardy, he say realtor in his name too. So I called out the realtors. The realtors about to be mad at me. They like, we converting all the realtors into home inspectors. Yeah, it makes more sense. So yes. So Walsh family, what state are you in? Let me know. That matters when we're talking about what we're gonna do for getting your license, because I don't know if you know it or not, but each state has different requirements. In some states, it is regulated. In some states, it is not. I watched both of your business videos today and took some. Okay, good, Sean. Good. Which ones? Did you have any questions? I try to make videos for everybody at every level. For those people who are um, um, just getting started, trying to get past the test, people who are in business, need to drum up new business. So yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Walsh family, South Carolina. Okay, cool. South Carolina is a regulated state, which means you have to get, I can't remember how many hours of education, but if you're looking for a school, Inspector Flow, our 2026 classes enrollment will open November 3rd. First class will start in February. I have 10, 12-week session, 16 classes. Class every Sunday, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern. We go through each of those 10 major systems. You get that study guide. We have a community. We have all of the things of people all across the country present. I have a home inspector I've always used who recently got super busy, so I'll be starting with him while in between. Good, 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 good. That's cool. That's cool. That's a good setup, so you can kind of get your feet wet. And yeah. All right. Can I y'all don't care about the lead. Nobody cares about ancillaries. Both the setup as far as the website and the one about the business plan. Okay, cool. Cool. I created my business plan. Okay, cool. Let me pull up your question, Sean. We'll answer it right here, right now. I had screenshotted it. I put it in there and everything. If you have anything else to add to it, Sean, let me know in the chat. So I'm gonna read it, but I'm gonna redact your information. Um I live in Houston, currently at a home inspector school. I was directed towards getting my ICC after I get my Texas license. To be honest, to be honest, I'd like to keep working for myself and expand our business and maybe go the direction towards new builds here. So what do you do for yourself? What do you mean? Do you mean that you would prefer to be an independent home inspector? Is that what you mean? Or what? What I took from it was, should I get my ICC or should I get my license first? And my answer to that is I don't necessarily think the order matters. I just think that it is important to have both credentials. Obviously, the Texas state license so that you can operate as a home inspector in Texas, but also in order to do some of those new build inspections, those builders, they will require you typically to have an ICC certification, that B1 certification I was talking about. And so less than so much the order is just actually having it. And there are so many different opportunities that this is, first of all, this is specialized knowledge. This is not one of those things where it's like, you know, how to make $1,000 on the internet in 30 days, where everybody would be interested. This is basically a real estate trade. Everybody's not interested in learning the construction of homes and all that kind of stuff. Only us nerds are interested in that. Okay. And so there's always a shortage of us. There's always a shortage. And because of that, it is specialized knowledge and it is always in demand and it's typically always high paying. So when you start to get the ICC credential, the reason why I advocate for it so tough is because it is an international credential. You can go to any state and your ICC credential will be recognized. If you go to another state, they don't care about your Texas state license or your this state license. There may or may not be some reciprocity or whatever, but in the construction, building design and all of that world, the credential that's most recognized is the ICC. And so I work sometimes I've done work with CDCs, local community development corporations, doing inspection work and different things like that. And so you just open yourself up to so many different opportunities. That's one of the things that I love about the inspection game is that there's so many different tracks. You know what I mean? Some people just want the inspection company and then they hire other inspectors. Some people only want to be a one person inspection team. Some people want to build a multi inspector firm. Some people don't want to be an a independent inspector at all. They want to go and get a good job working with the building and how there's so many different ways that you could go about it. I wish I knew before, but I just took down inspectors and Walsh. Okay, get the study guide. Get the study guide. I don't know if you were here or not, but next month, once the study guide drops, everyone who has it, I'm gonna be holding these sessions. We're gonna have test prep. Check some of my other videos. I already got some out, like the test prep, the NHIE videos where I'm asking questions and going through it like that. But we're really gonna be hammering down on both tests, NHIE and ICC, because I've got some students who I want them to get past the test this year too. So first step, get the study guide. That was the response that I heard. I would definitely be in my home inspection. Like first, you said in your video that after you get your IRC, it would be smart to work for the city. I just was. Oh no 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 no. Yeah 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 yeah. Oh yeah yeah, Sean. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that some people like to do that. For some people, it would benefit them to have that type of job. But no, absolutely not. You're gonna get it just to have the credentials so that you can have access to those other opportunities and you can full well act as an independent inspector. So no, I was not meaning to suggest that you needed to go and get, a job. It's just I want to always present that as an option because for most people that would be the best option. But like for me, when I started inspecting, I was already a business owner. I had already come from building a real estate investment business. I ain't no way in hell I was going to get no job, So I got it, and again, it just opened up other opportunities for me because of that credential. Now, new bills interest me here in Texas, exactly, exactly. And then the other, Sean, I'm just heaping credentials on you, bro. But the next one too is the drone. It's the Part 107, the FAA Part 107. I love what I do too. I do too. I tell people all the time, you got to be kind of like a little batshit crazy to be an entrepreneur and to work for yourself, but it's the most rewarding thing I've ever done in my life. And so I get it. I get it. But again, some people, I have no children, is it's like, so I can be a little bit more risk averse. Some people they need the stability of job benefits, things like that, which again is a good thing if that is where you are. So Sean, your list is NHIE, ICC, and FAA Part 107. That's like the holy trinity for you right now, the trifecta. You get those, you'll be a bad boy. You'll be in business. Going to get that one. My son is giving me, okay, cool. Yep. Yep, yep, yep. Now see, a lot of those guys down in Texas, depending upon who you ask, they'll tell you, you gotta walk through. And I don't know, it might be in you guys just SOPs that you do or whatever. But Bro, it's 2025. As we look towards the future, technology, AI, robot, all of that stuff is going to become more and more a part of our world. And you can't resist. You can't resist it. You've got to use it to your advantage. Some of those homes that y'all have down in Texas, you couldn't possibly, the roofs are too steep. You couldn't possibly walk them. How else are you going to inspect them? Some of them are, you know, 4 or 5 thousand square foot roof. You need the drone is very much beneficial. Um, what's up with what happened to my chat? Okay, hopefully it's cool. So yeah, that's that on that, Sean. Hopefully that helps and answers your question about what you meant. So if there are any other questions, go ahead and continue to drop them in the chat. I want to finish this up about. I always wanted to ask you about trees to the home with a drone. You mean like trees close to the home? You fly around them, Sean. um, nah, I mean, a drone is very it's pretty easy. My drone is in my truck. It's pretty easy to control. It's just very sensitive. So once you understand the sensitivity of the joystick, it's pretty easy to control. I obviously, you got to go back and forth with, looking up at what you're actually seeing. You always want to keep your drone in sight. Okay? And then you're looking down at your controller, which is showing you the video of it. And so yeah, I mean, you be cautious and try to avoid them where possible. If you can fly higher, if you can fly lower. But yeah, it's not a big issue. I don't think I've ever run into a tree. One time my drone fell out of the air because depending upon which drone you get, you could be using your phone as the remote control. And of course my phone went dead. And so I didn't have any way to control the drone. So it just hovered until the battery died and then it fell out the sky. But I haven't had really any trees. The other thing you do have to be mindful for with the drone is if you are near an airport. So what do y'all have? George Bush down there, IAH, I think it is. If you are near an airport, if you are going to be near those areas that's often restricted, it will not let you fly. So I also have a Docopo. Anybody seen any of my Docopo videos? Have a Docopo, 40-foot Docopo where I attach a camera on the end, put the pole up. It can go 40 feet. It's a little bit more difficult to inspect and do it that way, but you always want to have a backup. That's another thing with the drone that I learned the hard way. Pulled up thinking I was cool with my drone and I was going to do a drone inspection. They wouldn't even let me take off. I'm like, how do they even know? They know. They wouldn't. I could not take off because I was close to, in Cleveland we have a private airport. It's called Burke Lakefront Airport. And I was in a neighborhood near that and I could not take off. So I had to find another way to inspect the roof. Yeah. Okay. And hobby. Okay. Yeah. So other than that, I never really, for what we're using it for. I mean, I typically am flying maybe 30 minutes. The batteries, first of all, only last you about 30 minutes. So I don't like to have to bring it down, change the battery and take it back up. So I have a method to where I take all my pictures first. So I'm zoom, 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 just snapping photos first. And then I go back and actually inspect. So I'm flying for maybe 30 minutes. So um, trees and obstructions and stuff like that aren't going to really be an issue for you. You're going to pretty much all just steer clear of them. What else? So y'all don't want to talk about lead, clearly. As an ancillary, have y'all thought about ancillary services? This is what I was coming on here to talk about tonight was ancillary service, how it's important for the buyer to get ancillary services in addition to their general residential, and then also how it increases your bottom line. You could start out at a base cost at $450 for your inspection and end up, making $600 or $700 from that inspection from adding on ancillaries, which just gives your client a more comprehensive look. One question, Nita, when you first started, let me put it on here so everybody else can read it. Did you have to have a vehicle like a truck with a lot of no, Sean, that's a great question. That's a great question. When I first started, I had a Mercedes Benz two-door coupe. Oh, people used to always be looking at me kind of crazy because I would get out, I would pop the trunk. I had my ladder in the trunk, I had my tools, I had everything. Do not go out and buy a vehicle. You want to start. Should we maybe let me write that down. Maybe we should do like a how much it costs to get started and what you should buy and what you shouldn't from a tool perspective. Because that's another mistake I see a lot of people make. Because these dudes always have like a truck full of tools and crap. It's like, bro, that is such overkill. You don't want to go out and buy whatever vehicle you have will serve you just fine as you start out, and then as you start to increase your revenue, learn more, get more seasoned, then you add exponentially. You want to keep your overhead as low as possible. So no, one thing that I did, my mom bought me these two magnets that had my company Inspector Flow with the phone number on there, and boom, I could slap the magnets on my truck. Like if I'm ever in the area and I want to advertise or whatever, me, I kind of like I keep a low profile. Like I don't like people knowing, where I am or whatever. But you could do that for advertising. But nah, you don't need a to go out and buy a vehicle. Ancillaries, how did you bundle them at first after you first started? So what you want to look at is what is most common in your area. So I started off here talking about radon, the radioactive gas that causes cancer. And so if that is common, like that is in some southern parts of Ohio, that is common. And so that would be an ancillary service that I would look into offering. What you've got to weigh is there any additional license or certification that I need to have in order to perform this ancillary service? Is there any additional equipment that I need to have in order to perform the service? And is there any additional insurance coverage that I need to have to perform the service? And then what is the cost for the service? Those are the four things you need to consider when you are deciding which ones you are going to offer. For me, when I started out, mold was the one because that was like the easiest one. And again, most of the houses here in Cleveland, we have multiple areas that appear to have mold. So it just made sense to offer it. Since then, I still will do mold, but what my flagship one is lead. That's why I've been trying to talk about it. Like that's my bread and butter is lead, okay? Because again, in Cleveland, we have an older housing stock. Something like 87% of our homes are 100 years old. And so lead-based paint is a major issue, and we have one of the highest rankings of kids that tested positive with high concentrations of lead. So the city is cracking down. They received money. They put new requirements for landlords to have lead safe measures and different things like that. So lead is one that I definitely offer. And I typically will bundle it in based upon again the size of the home. Say it is 520. Your home inspection package will be $525. It will include the general residential with aerial inspection as well as lead testing. And see, that's why this is more than just you got to know your area too. You got to be familiar with your area and what's going on with even the government. What are the standards that are related to the building and housing? That's coming down. Lead exposure is very dangerous because what happens is when lead gets into the body thinks that it's calcium and stores it in your bones, in your tissues, in your organs. And over time, the effects build up and it basically eats you alive, essentially. No amount is considered safe for lead, especially when you're talking about kids. A lot of our kids, the issues that we see them have, hyperactivity, lower IQ, learning disabilities, behavioral issues. Believe it or not, it comes from exposure to lead. Did y'all know that? Like I don't think, and this is one of those things where it don't matter if you black, white, young, old, rich, poor. If you come in contact with Lead dust is really what it is, and you ingest it, that lead is in your bloodstream. There's no respecter of person. In adults, you can have memory loss, kidney disease. It messes with your reproductive system, with your ability to, you know what I mean? I'm just saying to the brothers out there, lead is serious business. So any house built before 1978 is thought to have lead-based paint, and it is most dangerous when it is disturbed. That's why we say if you have cracked, chipped, peeling paint, anything like that, that can create the dust. And the dust sometimes lands on the floor. Kids play on the floor, they touch it, boom, to their mouth. They've ingested it. Okay. And so those are the dangers. So for me, again, that's an ancillary service that it just makes sense to have. Another one is sewer scoping. Now, I don't do sewer scoping. I have a partner, shout out to I've used Nate Orlove's plumbing, and I got a couple other people who have sewer scoping machines, and I sort of just sub that work out. But you could do the sewer scoping yourself. It just works out best for me to sub it out. But sewer scoping is another thing because, again, during the home inspection, okay, we get the water temperature, we get water pressure, we get water drainage at the time of the inspection. But there's no way for us to know anything about the conditions of your drain lines, which is so important for your everyday experience in a house. When you're trying to take a shower, shower, a bath, or something like that, and the water will not drain out, or you washing your face and the water is pooling up, or the toilet won't, like, drain line issues are a major inconvenience and interruption for people. And so during the home inspection, the only way that we can see what's going on in those pipes is to have a sewer scope. A sewer scope is basically a camera. They have a camera. Think of a garden hose. You know how a garden hose is wound up, or a sewer scope is way longer than that, maybe 100 feet long. And on the end of it, there's a camera. And so they stick the camera down and they unwind it so that the camera can go all through your drain lines. And then they stand back and they look and they can see the condition of your drain lines. Even if there's no block or anything like that, they can still see the condition. If you have old drain lines, some areas in the country still have lead pipes. Oh boy, pray for us. This government just don't care nothing about us. So it's important for you to see the condition of those actual pipes. Okay. Are there any other questions that I missed in the chat? If you haven't already, everybody hit the like button right now. Hit it. Ready? Bam. Hit it. Like. Bam. Hit it. Like. Bam. Hit the like button. Let me see. Okay, no other questions. I don't see any just now. Also, again, if you are trying to pass the test, if you are here because you're trying to pass the test, I got you covered. I have heard the cries of the people. Y'all are all in my YouTube comments. Y'all are all in my email. Some of y'all didn't even came over to my Instagram telling me you need help passing this test, and I got you. I recreated my study guide. It is 10 plus chapters, about 100 or so pages. I'm going over strategies, but most importantly, I am going over each chapter is, maybe I should show y'all. Y'all want to see? Let me know in the chat. 3 comments and I'm showing you. I'm easy. 3 comments in the chat say, show me. Say, show me in the chat. If you say, show me in the chat, I'm going to show you a chapter. Let me pull it up. I went through, and at first I was creating like a simpler study guide. But then I started seeing and hearing people like, oh no, they need more help than this. They need more information. So I went back through, I revamped the study guide, and I made it much more in depth, much more comprehensive to really help the people. I don't see no show me, so y'all don't want to see it. All right, let me keep my little study guide to myself then. I was gonna show you, what chapter was I gonna show you? Plumbing. chapter 4. When you first started, did you have problems with the other competitors or home inspection? Good old boy systems. That is a great question, Sean. I want to say that I really didn't have that issue specifically. And I will say that one of the major reasons why is because, again, remember, when I got into it, I started investing in real estate in 2012. I was using a wholesaling strategy. And so from 2012 all the way to 2016, 17, I was straight. And that's how I got the name House Hunter 216, because I was outside hunting for houses. And so I built up a name and reputation. I was wholesaling, if you know what wholesaling is. And so I knew a lot of people, a lot of realtors, a lot of investors, a lot of contractors. I was already sort of, in the real estate world in my local market. And so I feel like I was sort of exempt from a lot of that stuff. And also I tend to deal, um, you know, how can I say this? I don't deal with everybody. I'm not one of them type of people, Sean. I don't need nobody's money. All you know what I mean? Like I'm like that. I'm an Aquarian only child, if that helps you, if that puts anything into perspective. So I don't go to spaces where I am likely to be mistreated, discriminated against. You know what I mean? Like I don't play in them type of spaces. But I also, again, I have worked to be a respected voice in the real estate community in my area. That's another thing that people forget about this home inspection thing. You don't need to be, it's not like how social media um social media is like, we trying to talk to everybody. I want to talk to people all over the country. It's not like that with home inspecting. I'm only inspecting in one central area. I'm only doing inspections in the greater Cleveland area. You know what I mean? So a lot, whatever goes on around there doesn't really affect me. All I got to do is dominate my local market. And as a new person starting out, you can't even handle that many inspections. Many people are still working another job or just, you know what I mean? You can't even handle that many inspections and all of that kind of stuff. So, um, to answer your question, Sean, those are real concerns. Something that let me see, Sean. I think you're a young white dude, right? Even you will be some of those older white dudes, they're gonna be looking at you like, well, you don't know this, and you haven't been building homes for 30 years, and you know what I mean? Like that's just their energy. And so you basically have to combat it with like, bro, like leave me be. Like I'm doing my thing. I'm investing in my education. Like I don't let people bully you in that way. So hopefully that answers the question. Show me, show me, show me. Okay, that's 3. Okay. Y'all pulled my finger. Okay, let me show you. Let me pull it up. That's a good question though, Sean. What other questions do y'all have? These are some really good questions. Okay, so I'm gonna show you just a little bit. Just enough. I'm half black and half Italian. Oh, okay, so you black for real. Okay, you black. Okay, so yes, 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 yes. This is like I talked about on my other live. This is one of the few industries where it's like the older people by older, I just mean the experience, like the OGs in the industry, like they all act like, again, it's a problem with teaching or helping. You would think that you would see, why is it me? Like why am I am probably the loudest, or if not one of the top loudest people that you see online talking about home inspecting. Like, yeah, you could become a home inspector. Why is it me? Why is it not some of these other people? Because it's like they have this thing where they want it to themselves. And if you're not me or look like me or come from what I come from them, it's like the home inspection industry is mine and you can't be in it. And I just think like, get the fuck out of here. Like anybody can learn how to be an inspector. And with the way this economy is going, these are the types of things that people do need to learn how to do. We need to be encouraging people, our young people are looking to change careers, people are looking to make extra money. They need to invest their time to learn things like this. And you're not going to tell them that just because they ain't been building houses from the ground up for 30 years that they can't do it. Like, out of here. Sean, don't activate me. Don't get me started because you know. Um, all right. See, look, oh my God, I'm gonna have to do something with this. The plumbing chapter alone is 46 pages. I'm gonna have to do something with the spacing or something. Because is every time I thought I had enough, I had to add some more. So okay, let me show you. Did everybody like? Hit the like button. Let me look and see first what the likes is looking. Did everybody hit the like button? Why y'all saying show me? Did y'all hit the like button? Y'all know that's the only requirement around here is to hit the like button. Let me see what we looking like. Oh no, we missing a couple people. I need the rest of y'all to hit the like button. We need that. Okay. Chapter 4, the plumbing system. Let me drop this link in here so you know you need to go ahead and get yours. I think I've got like 80 some work. I only got 100 discounted copies. So you need to go ahead and get yours. All right, so this is the plumbing system. I'm using this like numbering system, the 4.1, so you can see everything that is covered here. Water distribution, water heater, all of your fixtures, private waters. I even covered wells in here, drain waste and vent system, drain pipe materials, the venting system, um, all of your drain pipe components. I again included private sewage, so septic and all of that. And then this part here is what I love the most about the guide. This is the feeling. This is how you will really learn this information and be prepared to pass your test by answering questions like this, because you'll have to search for the answer for some of it. And then once you get done, how many of it? Okay, so it's like 20 questions. I might even add some more on this. I don't know. But it's 20 questions that you'll have to look for the answers to. And once you have the answers, now you've created this is literally a study guide. You can come back here and you can have people quiz you. You can go through this. This is how you retain the information. And then these short answer questions. This is again to make sure that you are, because it's one thing, a lot of y'all think y'all smart and y'all can just memorize stuff. This is not something that you have to really understand the concepts of a thing. And these short answer questions determine or help you to determine how well you understand. Like, what's the difference between a water service line and a water distribution line? Do you know that? Can you explain that? If you can, there's a good chance that again you understand the water supply system and how we get water in and throughout the home, which means that it's a good chance that you would know the pipe size requirements, the clearance requirements, the this and the that. So that is how, if you were to ask me, Nita, if I'm gonna give you $100, what's your plan to help me with this study guide pass my test? This just alone right here is my secret weapon. I'm telling you up front. It's so good. I'm telling you up front. And I got this for each and every system. You were saying? What's them other schools you were saying? Oh, okay. Cool. You want to pass the test, you better come see your cousin Nita. Get you a study guide and meet me in November. If you lock in with me November and December and you do what I recommend, you put your work in, you're going to pass that test before this year is out. ICC or NHI. This guide is good for them both. All of this information, the minimum opening, shower opening doors, and all of that. Where do you think those numbers come from? Those are ICC codes. Those are building code standards from all over the place. So go get your study guide. Lock in now. Again, we got like 80 something more copies. Lock in now. I will get you your practice quiz when I send you the study guide, and then I will be telling you to show up with me on live, have your chapter 4 completed, and I will go through the answers. That's the other thing. There's an answer key that comes with this, because I hate when people do that. Like, they give you questions, but then they don't give you the answers. There is an answer key in the back of the study guide. Let me know what y'all thinking in the chat. What you thinking? This not one of them like this is real deal over here. I mean to help you pass the test for sure, for real. I can't stop watching your video. Good. I'm glad, Sean. I look forward to you passing, to seeing you grow and develop your company. I look forward to seeing all of that. It really, again, that's why I do this, because I want to see more people get into this industry. We need to prioritize education, diversity, and camaraderie among in this industry. And I'm leading the charge on that. The new generation of home inspectors who we not all old white dudes who want to just keep everybody out and control everything. We diverse. We come from all over the country, from all different backgrounds, and we're all committed to actually getting education. We don't want to just click through videos, and get a certification. Like, we want to actually know what we're talking about so we can go out in the field, so that we can help home buyers, and so that we can make a decent living. Like, it's just that simple. So that we can help each other, you know? It's nothing. What, again, I said every time, what does it take away from me to jump on here and help you and answer these questions? That is, I ain't had nobody to answer these questions for me. It was hard when I was trying to figure out what I gotta do, or it was hard to find any of the answers. It shouldn't be like that. Our OGs should be like willfully giving out the information so we can keep the industry strong. We play a very important part. Thank you, Frank. I appreciate you. If you think about it, just think about this when you buying a house, right? You got your realtor, you got your lender, you got maybe a contractor, you got your appraiser, you got your title company, you got your home inspector. Of all of those people that's a part of your home buying process, who is the only person that's qualified to speak to the condition of the home that you're about to be paying, that you're borrowing hundreds of thousands of dollars to pay for? I'll wait. Who is it? Who's qualified? It's me. It's the home inspector. The home inspector is the only person that's qualified to speak to the star of the show, the house. And not to mention, I'm the only person really there. Well, not only, but I'm one of the few people there that's subjective. Your realtor is not. They want you to buy the house because guess what? They don't get paid unless you do. I get my little 500. I don't have. I work for you, baby. I'm here to just tell you what's going on. I don't care if you don't. But I've done 3, 4 inspections for one buyer because they chose not to buy the house for whatever reason. I don't care if you buy the house or not. I don't care if you buy it for 20,000 or for 200,000. I just need my 500 for my inspection. I'm gonna get you the report highlighting material defects, things that could affect the safety, the functionality, the value of the house. And I'm wishing you well. Either way it go, whether you buy it or not. We're important to this transaction. Did you know that we got home inspectors even became a thing because at first realtors were the ones they was responsible for assessing the house, and they quickly was like, we don't want to do that. We don't want to be responsible for that. We don't know how to do that. We need somebody else. Boom, enter home inspectors. That was only like 60, 70 years ago. Wasn't even that long ago. So can you imagine most lay people who don't know anything about homes, the construction of homes, safety features, something as small as, again, like that mold piece. People don't under your shower. I talk about this all the time. You go in, you take hot, steamy shower every single morning, all 4 people in your family. That is moisture intrusion. If you don't vent that hot, moist air out of your living space, d- like, do you know what you're going to end up having mold? That's why everybody's bathroom got mold. The fan in the bathroom, you're supposed to turn it on to vent that hot air out when you're taking a shower. So if I get up in the attic and I see that the bathroom vent is discharging into the attic, letting all the hot, moist air out in the attic, that's a major defect. Most people wouldn't understand why. Well, not today or tomorrow, but over time, while we're dumping all this hot, damp air out into your attic, guess what it's going to do to the structural members of your house? I don't want to get on the soapbox with y'all. It's on the only Monday. I save my soapbox rants for Wednesdays. But yeah, This is a very important trade. This is specialized knowledge and it's worth your while to take the time to learn it and to learn it well. This is something that you could do for the rest of your life, make a great living, have autonomy of your time. You could pass this on. You could, you know what I mean? And everybody should have an opportunity to learn how to do this. And the education should be sufficient no matter what school you went to, but it's not. So come to Inspector Flow. Any other questions? Okay, so later on, let me see. So I had some other live streams scheduled for this week, but maybe I'll change it up. So y'all want to talk about how much money it takes to get started? What's the topics y'all want to talk about? Let me know. What do the people want? How much money to get started, or the toolkit? What tools do I need to get started? I'm gonna write this down. What other topics? I'm excited for November because I'm going to be working too. I'm going to get my P1 in November for ICC. We're going to be in the lab. We're going to be working hard next month while everybody kicking in, getting fat, eating holiday food and all that. We're going to be in the lab working. And at the top of the year, you're going to have passed that test and you're going to be ready to move on to the next thing that you got to complete in your journey so that you'll be ready for busy season 2026. And if you haven't already signed up for school, you need to sign up for Inspector Flow. Enrollment for Inspector Flow classes 2026 also opens on November 3rd. So November 3rd is going to be a big day. We got the study guide going. We got enrollment for classes. It's going to be a big day. So make sure you get your study guide ahead of time, get it cheaper, get the extra quizzes, and then make sure you hit the whatever the notification or whatever so you will know every time I'm live in November because it will be focused on test taking. Frank says business setup. Okay. Okay, Frank, we can do that. Check out I think I got a couple up. Like Sean was saying that he visited some of those, so I have a couple up. So check those out. But I can do an updated one, like business setup for home inspection business for 2026. There are some AI things I'd like to share. Yeah. Okay. So we'll do that business setup. I'll go through my business setup checklist to make it easy for you, and then we'll talk like a little maybe some marketing things like what you can do to get your first 10 inspections, first 10 paid inspections booked. Does that sound like a vibe? What do you say, Frank? What's the order are making videos? I can't wait to the next electrical video. I've had a hard time with gardening stamps. Under gardening stamps. Say that again, Sean. What's the order you are making the videos? Is that what you're saying? The next, okay, so here's what you can plan for. This Friday, I'm going to be live streaming a portion of our electrical part 2. So electrical part 1 is still up. I'm probably going to take it down maybe tonight or in the morning. But electrical part 2 will be live streaming Friday, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern. We start off with circuit breakers, OPDs, overcurrent protection devices, wiring types, switches, receptacles. So that will be coming up on Friday. Um Understanding what you look at in the attic. Okay, let's talk about an attic inspection. What else? I would like to talk about the stuff that y'all want to talk about. So that is most beneficial because that is the goal. Not for me to just be up here yapping. Okay, so we got Frank says business setup. Sean says attic inspection and also electrical. What's the rest of y'all say? Y'all don't care? Y'all leaving it up to Frank and Sean? Say less. Me, Frank, and Sean, we'll create our curriculum. um. Okay. This ancillary topic, I maybe will revisit it another day or something because y'all didn't let me get through the ancillaries, but it's a good topic to have because, again, why go do an inspection for $450 when you could have done it for $600? You see, going back to that, you don't have to do a bunch. Just think about it like this: 10 inspections at $500 a month is an extra $5,000 a month. Give me a one in the chat if that sounds like something that you might be interested in. 10 inspections a month. So that's like two-ish a week, two-ish inspections a week, each at $500, which is again, you even if you didn't add any ancillaries, your base price could be at $500. If you did 10 of those, that's an extra $5,000 American dollars in this economy. Would that not be beneficial? Is y'all that rich that an extra 5 bands a month would not be beneficial? Because I don't know about you, but I don't even always do 10 a month. But that extra 2,500, that extra 3,000, like yeah, I love that money, baby. So yeah. All right, that's good. Talk. I like the tools one. Did y'all like that one? What tools to use? And we'll talk about actual home inspection tools. We'll talk about drones. We'll talk about the administrative tools like cameras, iPads, things like that. Vehicles, like Sean mentioned. Apparel, uniform. If you will always see me wearing something, Inspector Flow. Pretty much so. That is what I wear during my inspections and outside. I like and how much everything costs to give you sort of an idea of what the cost. I like that one. That one sounds good to me. Business setup, attic inspection, and maybe some electrical talk. Are there any other topics that we should cover that I haven't yet talked about or any other questions? Are all hearts and minds clear? Do you feel like this home inspection thing is something that you could do? Do you feel like you would devote, I would say, to prepare to devote the next 3 years of your life to getting this going? And by going, I mean getting your education, your licenses, your certifications, starting your business, and getting to a point where you have consistent business. By consistent business, I mean that doing about 10 inspections a month, generating about $5,000 a month. Are you prepared to make that investment? Jason, what's up, Jason? We ain't seen you all show. Where you been at? Acquiring customers. You're concerned about acquiring customers? We can talk about that. One of the things, one of my areas of expertise is marketing because of how I started in the real estate game. I started off with marketing because I was doing wholesaling. So marketing is kind of like my jam. If you care to look, like on every single social platform, I've always been able to build up a following. Like YouTube is probably my least engaged with platform, and I'm gonna change that too because I'm liking YouTube, but I'm marketing is like my jam. Like I like talking about marketing, and I gotta see. Oh, I gotta tell y'all, I got a secret weapon. It's made me several hundred thousands of dollars. Let me write a note to tell y'all. Secret. We're gonna talk about it maybe in the business class. I don't know. I have to get that in, but I got a secret weapon. And it works. What about the attic? What about the attic? I got attic on here. I got attic from you, Sean, and electrical. I got business set up from Frank. Frank, where you from? And I got acquiring customers from Jason. Jason, where you from? Is it Jason or is it really like Jason? Because I kind of like Jason. Sound exotic, you know? We can do the business. Y'all want to talk the business tomorrow? Frank, you gonna be around tomorrow? Around the same time tomorrow? Call it. What am I doing tomorrow? Tomorrow's Tuesday. Let me look at my calendar while I'm making a date with y'all. Um. Okay, that's Wednesday. I got that inspection on Thursday. Yes, I can do it. Maryland. Okay, you in Maryland. Maryland. I got a lot of students in Maryland. Shout out to my guy Bond. I got a lot of D Ford. I got a lot of students in Maryland. Y'all want to do the business class tomorrow? We could talk business tomorrow. At least business setup. Maybe we'll have to break it down into two parts. So tomorrow we could talk about, okay, boom. You got the study guide, you passed the test, you're about to start your business. What do you do? How do you set everything up? Uh, Jason already taking on YouTube. Dang. Got it. Love our business. Okay. All right. Tomorrow. It's a date. It's a date. Tomorrow we'll be talking about business setup. Think about your questions that you have tonight and bring them tomorrow. And if you happen to miss it, make sure you catch the replay. One last call. Did you hit the like button? Bam, hit it. Hit it. If all hearts and minds are clear, I will wish you a good evening for tonight. And I will see you tomorrow. Business setup is the topic. Same time, same place.